keep on making, yes, you keep on making. Make it alright. You keep on making, yes, you keep on making. Make it alright, alright, alright.
Hey, everybody, listen, welcome into the building. It is Tea Time with the Diva. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. And for all you out there, hit that like button. And listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. You know what? Today's tea time. And listen. It's Friday, people. I went to Starbucks. It's a black tea, plain, nothing in it. And let me tell you something. My tea lasts longer these days because I'm leaving it with no sugar. Okay. And it takes me forever to drink it. If I had my normal sugar in there, it would have been gone already. But anyway, so this tea time is dedicated to Tyrese. Tyrese, the R&B singer. Him and his wife split up. They have a child together, and they are now in a battle over child support. The original child support judgment was for 10K a month. And for some that may say, oh my goodness, that's excessive. In what world do you need 10K a month to raise a child? And maybe me in my world, okay, because I'm not, I don't have Tyrese's baby. Okay, my baby is not a high profile child. But when you have a high profile child, and what I mean by that, your baby is by Tyrese. Okay, your baby is by Jay-Z. Your baby is by John Legend. Y'all get what I'm saying? If you have a high profile baby slash child, the requirements to raise that high profile baby is different. I can't just go anywhere and I got John Legend baby and live there. No, I got John Legend baby. I need to live in a John Legend appropriate neighborhood, send my kid to a John Legend appropriate school, and we got to live in a certain type of lifestyle. Now, if y'all disagree with me, you can disagree with me. Let me know in the chat. But let's keep it 100 here. If you are born of a certain status and you and your parents break up, that child deserves to continue to live on that same level. That's just my opinion. And maybe that is why Tyrese's ex-wife needs 10K a month to raise their child. I don't know. Y'all let me know your thoughts. So the judge told him 10K a month. He didn't want to do that. How you not going to listen to a court order though? Why don't you listen to the court order while you're appealing the court order? But let's carry on. The judge said 10K a month. He was like, I ain't paying that. So he gave her 2,000 and change a month, and she took him back to court. And when they went back to court, the judge slammed it to him again and said, you owe her the difference from what I told you was going to pay and what you paid. So that's about $8,000. He added all that up. And then, when you go to court, it's fees. And then on top of that, you both got to pay for your lawyers. And lawyers are expensive. This is my thoughts on court. When it comes to court, the only people that win are the lawyers in the court. Okay, I don't care which way the judgment goes, the lawyers in the court are the true winners. Because by the time, whether you won or lost, by the time you finish paying that lawyer in the court fees, you be like, I won $5 million. Why do I only have a check for $1 million? Oh, because you had to pay us in the court fees. That's why. So by any means necessary, you and whoever you are trying to sue, if y'all could settle that thing out of court, it's the best case scenario. You're probably going to save millions by trying to resolve that thing yourself. But anytime the court has to get involved, it gets nasty. Gets real nasty. So the reason why he now owes $636,000, because not only does he have to pay the back child support, the difference that he wasn't paying, he has to pay his lawyer fees, her lawyer fees, and all kind of fines. Let's get into this, people. I'm going to share a screen with you. We're going to talk. Now, before I share the most recent update, I want to share Tyrese, in his own words. Because Tyrese is feeling like he's speaking, So for all the
That's
dads out there in the
what the
world, hold on,
prenuptial agreement states.
let me let's see if
So
we can turn this
therefore,
thing
there
off.
should not be no discussion.
Okay, there we go. We're gonna sing a little bit.
Mhm.
Come on, Tyrese.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
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 Mm.
Right, he gonna get into it, y'all.
All right, y'all. Happy Saturday. I jumped on real quick to discuss an invite.
Okay, he's inviting
Okay.
people. It already
I
happened.
got to be back in court about this divorce with Samantha on Tuesday. The address where the court case is going down at is 185 Central Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Fulton County Superior Court. This is me wanting to invite the press and the media, Atlanta Journal, my girl Sharon Reed, all of TMZ, press, blogs, and media. This is my personal invite. Why am I doing this? I want y'all to understand that there is a very big difference in somebody going into a court system as a Black man and as a Black father who wants nothing more than to maintain his relationship with his children. Rather the marriage or the relationship works out or not, that's between myself and the mother of my child or my ex-wife.
I agree.
But when you have a racist, an obvious, blatant racist sitting on the stand as a judge, that doesn't sit well with me.
Right.
There are so many things that have happened with my case, fighting to have them to literally do what's according to the law.
Okay.
Nothing illegal should come in my way, and nothing illegal should go her way.
All right.
We want to do things according to the law. There is nothing more uncomfortable than someone who knows the law, who knows their rights. So, for all of the press and media, from TMZ to Ebony to Essence and all of the other mainstream media outlets, you guys know that you have to go online and you have to file what's called a Rule 22.
Okay.
And when you file a Rule 22, when you're a press and a media and you're a journalist, from the Atlanta Journal, the New York Times, the New York Post, TMZ, you name it, you are allowed to set up cameras. I don't care if it's your iPhone. I don't care if it's a camera on a tripod. You're able to set up cameras in the courtroom and you're able to film and document and write down everything that's said and everything that's going on.
Educate the people.
Now, here are the things that we're going to be discussing.
Okay.
We have a motion for contempt. Samantha is in contempt of court. We're going to be discussing that. We also have a special master's motion for attorney's fees. Okay? We have a special master's motion for contempt. We also have a motion for attorney's fees. Okay? Trying to get to the bottom of attorney's fees. Now, I want to explain one little piece about the attorney's fees.
Okay.
Normally, when you're a higher income earner, in the family law, they will say, look, you make more money than your significant other. So financially, she should be allowed to have proper representation and have her legal fees to be paid for too. Here's the problem. I signed a prenuptial agreement, and the prenuptial agreement clearly in all four corners of the document, a total of about 60. We put our signatures on it. We agreed that if we want to argue and go back and forth about the validity of our prenuptial agreement, then we are 100% responsible for paying and covering our own legal fees.
Okay.
That's what the prenuptial agreement states. So therefore, there should not be no discussion about who's paying for legal fees.
All right.
You follow me?
I follow
because
you.
the prenup says that if you want to argue about who gets what and what's what, then you're responsible for your own legal representation and you need to pay.
Oh.
Okay? So now, again, I am asking every black father
in
the city of Atlanta,
in Atlanta,
Charlotte, wherever you are.
Oh, shoot.
I also would love to personally invite my brothers,
okay,
the Fruits of Islam, the Nation of Islam, all of the black men who have dealt with the family law and the court systems forever.
Okay.
I told them very simply, I don't want nothing to be done in my favor because I'm an alpha, because I'm a father, because I'm a celebrity, because I'm a public figure. I don't want nothing to work in my favor for any of those factors. I just want things to be done according to the law.
Okay.
I'm also going to call on my brother, attorney Benjamin Crump, to join me. I have my lawyer named Tanya Mitchell Graham, who is incredible. It's a black woman who was literally disrespected by this judge. His full name, sitting on the bench, his name is Judge Kevin M. Farmer. M as in Mary. Judge Kevin M. Farmer. We attempted to get this man thrown off the bench. His case was presented to other judges. They read the transcripts. They seen how he handled himself, all of the racist, the fact that we wasn't able to properly present our case. And then he ends up calling my ex-wife a bitch. Yes, he did. He called Samantha a bitch. Yeah, he said this in the private chambers of his office in front of a black woman named Tanya Mitchell Graham, who's my attorney, in front of other black women that work for Tanya Mitchell Graham's law firm. And he was referring to my ex-wife. Now, listen, we ain't together no more. We have our share of issues.
Right.
But I have never referred to the mother of my child as a bitch. I have never referred to the mother of my child or my ex-wife as a bitch. To hear this man, this white man, on the bench wearing a black robe who is supposed to represent the law to refer to my ex-wife and the mother of my child as a bitch, why is he still on the stand? So his case to be thrown off is called, we tried to get him recused. We tried to get him thrown off the bench because of his conduct and his unprofessionalism. And then there was a bunch of things pertaining to the outcome of my case that he did that was literally illegal. So I want to invite all of the press and media, the AJC. I want to invite the Fruits of Islam, all of my black men and fathers that represent the Fruits of Islam, the Nation of Islam, my brothers, all of my Christian black fathers that live in the city of Atlanta. For one, we're going to pray right in front of the court building, and I'm going to go up in there, and we already know he's a racist. And you know what else this man did that was illegal? Everything about the way he conducted himself on that stand as a judge, he literally got all of my transcripts and my court documents sealed. What does that mean? I fucked up. My conduct was unprofessional. I was abusive with my power, and everything that I said and the way I conducted myself as a judge on the bench, a sitting judge on the bench, the way he conducted himself, he didn't want nobody to see that shit. So he got the case sealed illegally. Why is it illegal? In Atlanta, Georgia, if a case gets sealed, it needs to be a request from my attorney or her attorneys. And after they make the request to seal the case, then we actually have to go in for a hearing and present why we want the case to be sealed to the judge. And then the judge is supposed to either say yes or no to it. This judge, and his name again, is Judge Kevin M. farmer. This man is a racist. This man abused his power. This man is a sitting judge in the city of Atlanta in Fulton County Supreme Court. And he referred to my ex-wife and the mother of my child as a bitch. And then here's the worst part. Without even having a court order, listen to this, fathers, without even having a court order in place to determine how much my child support was supposed to be, I ended up giving Samantha monthly child support for my child in the midst of us arguing. And what I'm supposed to pay her was never determined by a judge. I just said, I'm going to go on and take care of business anyway. I don't know why you left me. We're going to get to the bottom of that one day. But in the midst of it all, you still have my daughter, our daughter, and I want you to be able to take care of her. And she was only 1 year old at the time. And I want to send you more than enough to meet the absolute needs of our child. Not you. You left me. So I'm not concerned about your life and lifestyle. You left our life and lifestyle. So whatever you end up doing, wherever you end up living, that's on you.
Good God.
That is no concern to me. I'm not doing alimony. I don't owe you nothing. You left me. That's it.
All right.
So I want y'all to know that on Tuesday morning, I am scheduled to be back in the city of Atlanta, and I will be in the Fulton County Superior Court, 9:30 a.m. in the morning. I want all the black men, the Nation of Islam, the Fruit of Islam, all of the black fathers, all of the Christian fathers to meet me in front of the courthouse for a prayer on behalf of the family law court system that some way, somehow tends to lean in the favor of the other side. We are in jail.
Oh my.
Our relationships with our daughters and our fathers have been compromised for many years. And I've been saying ever since the judge out here in LA granted my ex permission for a restraining order, and she took my daughter away from me for 100 days without no proof and evidence that I ever did anything that she accused me of. And then when I finally won and had 100% exonerated, nothing that I was accused of stuck. Not only did I get custody of my daughter back, but they had monitored visits. They had somebody at my house monitoring our visitation and interaction between me and my daughter after they took my daughter away from me for 100 days. Don't you think the monitor visits need to be over there to the person who accused me of some shit I didn't do? Got it. So I said back then, and I'll say it again. It takes a George Floyd to change the law. It takes a Tyrese to be vocal and outspoken about real shit that's going on in the criminal justice system, along with the family law court system. We decided to make this child together. If we decide to separate, that breaks my heart. That's sad. That's unfortunate that our children, our child, have to be raised in a house separate where they won't see, here's a beautiful, loving example of what a married couple looks like under the same roof. It's very unfortunate when people break up and marriages fall apart right before your eyes. Whether it's his fault or her fault, it all hurts the child. But what I'm not going to do, as a black man and as a father who loves my daughters, I am not going to have a judge to refer to the mother of my child and my ex-wife as a bitch. I'm not going to have this man to tell me that, yeah, you decided on your own without a court order to give your child, only 1 year old at the time, this much money per month without a court order. And then he grabs out the sky. He says, how much you giving your daughter in LA? The lawyer said, he's paying his daughter in California this. So This dude out the blue said, you're going to now pay your 2-year-old the same amount of money you're paying a 15-year-old in California, where California is so much more expensive to live in.
That's fact.
And the needs of a child ain't 15,000 or ain't 10,000, but it is more expensive than the cost of living in Georgia.
That's
and
fact.
Beyond that, there are laws in place where it doesn't matter if you make 10 million, 5 million. There are laws that are in place that you are capped at a particular amount of money that goes to a child or children. So the fact that this man says, how much you paying your daughter in California? And he says, not only are you going to give your child in Atlanta the same amount of money, but you've been giving the mother of your child 2 years of child support payments, and it was for that number. So you know what we're going to do? Not only are you going to give this child in Atlanta the same amount as your child in LA, but you gave her this amount on your own for 2 years. We're going to do what's called a retroactive child support payment. And we're going to go back 2 years for a judgment that was never in place.
Well,
yeah, that would have hit me for about $280,000. We're going to go back 2 years for a judgment of what the child support payment is supposed to be from 2 years ago for a judgment that I never got from 2 years ago. To all of the black men and all of the fathers who have amazing relationships with their daughters and their sons, we both did our part. There's no such thing as you creating a child without me as a father.
Yeah.
I might be busy, but I love my babies. The family law court system has to change. I'm not even doing this shit for me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this shit for me. I'm doing this on behalf of every father, black, white, Latino, Asian, you name it. Every father who has ever had to go to court and deal with the family law court system dynamic, and you get your ass served to you on a plate every fucking time. I'm going in there on behalf of every father who doesn't have the voice that I have, who doesn't have the proper money to afford legal representation. They got to either go in there and defend themselves or go in there with a public defender, or they go up in there and get a lawyer to represent them, and then they end up having debts that they'll never be able to pay because the divorce or the family law court system in itself completely wiped them out. I will be in court April 25th. That's a Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Fulton County Superior Court. Courtroom 4D, as in David. 9:30 a.m. The judge that was supposed to be thrown off the bench is a racist, and he is not a professional man that's doing his actual job according to the law. And he referred to the mother of my child and my ex-wife as a bitch. That man does not supposed to be on a bench doing anything. I don't care if it's a high-profile case or every father. When it comes to fathers and mothers, we leveled the playing field. So we thought. April 25th, Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. I am asking every black father in the city of Atlanta to meet me in the courtroom for a prayer. I am asking Attorney Benjamin Crump, my brother, my friend, and my family, Attorney Benjamin Crump, to join me. I am asking Ambassador Andrew Young, the ex-mayor of Atlanta, and one of my nearest beloved brothers and friends to meet me. I'm asking Martin Luther King III, my brother, to meet me in the courthouse. That's what I want. And I want this man to do exactly what he's there to do on that bench, according to the law. That's all. You know what else I'm going to ask? I'm going to ask all of the other judges and anybody who can step in and help me out to do a specific review, pull up all the transcripts for every father that Judge Farmer has ever had to be on the bench for. And I want you to pull up the transcripts and really pick up and point out his conduct. Because as y'all can imagine, see, if he did the shit to me, imagine what he's been doing to all of these other fathers of all races in that courtroom. Imagine that. So if you a blogger, press, media, Atlanta Journal, you name it, you have to fill out some documents as a press and media journalist called a Rule 22, RULE 22. That way you can set up cameras and you can document everything that's going to be discussed. Because this is all public record and public knowledge, there's nothing confidential about our case. It's all very public. We are going to be discussing Samantha's motion for contempt because she's in contempt of court. We're going to be discussing Special Master's motion for contempt. We're also going to be discussing Samantha's motion for attorney's fees. And we're also going to be discussing my motion for attorney's fees. You were supposed to pay for your own attorney since you want to argue about the validity of our court case and our marriage and our prenuptial agreement. Yeah, let's go. Y'all meet me in front of the courthouse. Y'all show up. Y'all be a part of this prayer. And I want every blogger, press, and media outlet to fill out a Rule 22 and come meet me in court. Set up your tripods, set up your iPhones. You can be on IG Live in the courtroom, on Facebook Live in the courtroom. I want the world to see everything in real time so that we can really get to the bottom of what's going on with this racist man who has abused his power. His name, Judge Kevin M. Farmer. Yeah. I'll be there on Tuesday, Mr. Farmer. I'm ready. I don't want nothing to work in my favor. I want things to be done according to the law. I don't want you to be such an obvious racist and disrespect the regard of the court of law or the laws that are in place. Maybe you got a problem because I'm black and I'm rich. Maybe you got a problem because I'm an alpha. Maybe you got a problem because I actually care for my children. Maybe you got a problem with the fact that you make what you make per year and I make what I make. That ain't my problem, sir. You're not supposed to abuse your power because you up there in the bench wearing a black robe. So yeah, Kevin M. Farmer. Look him up on Instagram. Look him up on Facebook. Check out his social media. Look him up. And if you know anything about the law, it might cost you a little money, but pull up the transcripts on everything that Judge Farmer has been doing as a judge since he's been sitting on the bench. Yeah. Y'all did this shit to the wrong one, bruh. And I'm not even thinking about how I'm gonna benefit from it. I'm thinking about the fact that every father that goes into this courtroom in front of this obvious, blatant racist who is abusing his power, and he's a man. I'm sure he's got a wife at home. I'm sure he's got children at home. So why would you show up to court and do this and some way, somehow lose touch with the sensitivities of being a married man yourself, being a father yourself, being a grandfather yourself? Imagine if somebody had the choice to compromise your relationship with your children. How would that make you feel? You're getting drunk in your power and you're abusing your power and you're doing things that's beyond the scope of the law. And I thank God every day for a black woman who has been a boss, who has been a giant in the legal space. Her name is Tanya Mitchell Graham. She has become my mama in this process because she recently lost her father and she was daddy's little girl. Imagine, I love my dad. My dad was my world. Do you know how many little girls feel that way about their fathers? You know how many little boys feel that way about their fathers outside of the love that they have for their mom? That's what I was saying. Daddy's little girl. You ever heard of it? I got two of them. Y'all know what it is. Now, in closing, I want to tell y'all something that I've never told y'all publicly. It's been close to 15 years of fighting to literally have a presence in my children's lives. I know I'm busy. I know daddy's always on tour, on movie sets, out and about, doing what I got to do to keep things afloat. But because your mother has been more available and more present in your life compared to your father, doesn't make her a better parent than me. And if your mother's job required her to travel, if she was in the military and she had to go to Iraq for 2 years at a time to serve her country, or she was the higher income earner that required traveling, being on the road, doing all that you need to do to pay the bills and put money on the table, food on the table, then I would have been the father at home 24 hours, 7 days a week, readily available to do my part. You can't use my busy as a weapon against me. That's what the family law court system will do. If you broke and you unemployed, they'll fuck you up. If you out here successful, getting money, and you're doing your thing, they'll fuck you up. You can't win. You can't win. Because you were born a father. You'll also notice that there's never any picket signs and anyone boycotting, and there's never nothing going on in front of the courthouse when it comes to women that's always showing up to march and boycott and speak up and speak out. They never in front of the family law court systems. Why? Because most things tend to work in their favor. They're going to show up by the millions to make sure that these things that are not working in their favor work in their favor. They don't ever come to court. So I'm asking every father, I don't care if your kids are grown, remarried, married, got kids, grandkids, every father, old and young, show up to the courthouse and join me in prayer. I will be there at 8:30 in the morning to pray on the footsteps of the courthouse. Every press and media, news and journalist outlet, I want you to meet me in the courthouse with your cameras, with your tripods, ready to go on Facebook Live and IG Live to make sure that everything about what's going to go down in this courthouse, the world can see it. Yeah, let's do it. Press and media outlets, you have to file what's called a Rule 22 online. I'll see you when you get there. Not expecting nothing to work out in my favor. But in case it don't, the question becomes, did it not work in my favor because of what's legal or what's illegal? I just want things to be done according to the law. And for every father out there who can't make it, for every father out there who has been depressed, sad, miserable, crying, real tears, because your relationship with your child or children has been compromised, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you. For every man, white, black, Asian, Filipino, Jewish, Muslim, you name it, any father that has been to jail because of what they were accused of, because they were in contempt of court, because they were on parole and they got out, and then they got accused of something. They went back to jail for another 5 years, and they just in there rotting away. I'm doing this for you. So meet me in front of the courthouse. Please tag every fruit of Islam you know. I want a real circle of foot soldiers to meet me. Every father, I don't care what race you are. Every father, come meet me in front of the courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia. 9:30 a.m. I'll be there by 8:30. Judge Kevin M. Former, courtroom 4D, Atlanta, Georgia. Fulton County Superior Court, Atlanta, Georgia. The address is 185 Central Avenue. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go get it done. Let's go get it done. Let's go get it done. Let's go ahead and shed some light on what's really going on in the family court system. Let's do it. Y'all ready? Who's going to meet me there? Give me a thumbs up if you in the Charlotte, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia. If you're going to show up and meet me at 8:30 in the morning for a prayer and you're a father, give me a thumbs up right now in the comments. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Perfect. Appreciate y'all tuning in on my IG Live. I'm actually about to take my beautiful daughter for a daddy-daughter dinner. I arranged it all. I'm so proud of my baby. She's 15. She's so smart. She's been doing so good in school. My heart. This is the part that I was going to tell y'all. People say, man, when you speak up and speak out about things, you got to be worried, man. You're a movie star. I got some news for y'all. I'm still a movie star. I got 13 movies coming out this year.
All right now.
I'm still a movie star. People will say, hey, man, when you speak up and speak out about things, man, you got to be careful, man, because you're a singer. You got to do concerts. I'm still a singer. Still doing concerts. Got to be careful, man. You're an entrepreneur, man. You know, you could ruffle a few feathers and people might decide to not want to do business with you. I'm still doing big business. Everything is still going well as an entrepreneur. But you know where the level of the playing field gets leveled? You know where the playing field gets leveled all across the board? It doesn't matter if you white, black. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what your race or nationality is, what your tax bracket is. Where we all stand as a united front is we are all fathers. And we are all dealing with the family law court system that's been fucking over us for years, whether it's a man on the judge, on the stand, or a woman. You go into that courtroom and it's like a preset McDonald's menu, and it doesn't matter what receipts, what proof, what evidence you have, what you're being accused of, automatically shit just works in the favor of the other side. And so I said, you know what? Let's go on and do it. Let's go on and bring them cameras up in here so we can discuss Samantha's motion for contempt of court. She's in contempt of court. Let's discuss the special master's motion for contempt. Let's Samantha's motion for attorney's fees and my motion for attorney's fees. Because I've been paying hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for legal representation when I had a prenuptial agreement in place that already outlined what she get and what I get if she ever left me or if I ever left her. So what the fuck are we spending all this money for? What we doing all this back and forth for? Everything about the outcome of you leaving me was already discussed in the prenup. So if you want to argue about it and have lawyers they're banking on this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, then that's on you. You almost $300,000 in legal fees. That's on you. That's not on me. I don't care how much money I make. That's what we talking about. That's what we discussing. Fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam, my brothers, all my Christian, all my soldiers, all my fathers, white, black, Asian, whatever you are, meet me at the courthouse at 8:30 in the morning to join me for a prayer to represent all fathers that's been feeling all of it. Even if you've never been through a divorce, even if your relationship with your kids or teens or children have never been compromised, if you're a father, I still want you to meet me right there. 8:30 in the morning. I'll give you the address again. 185 Central Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. I'll see you there. Another thing I wanted to tell y'all. If I had to grab a number out the sky, let's speak in hypotheticals real quick. Mm-hmm. If I had to grab a number out the sky and tell y'all how much the family law court system, accusations and all kind of bullshit has cost me just to have and maintain a relationship with my child and now children, easily $30 million.
Oh.
Can I say it again? $30 million. What does that mean? Outside of legal fees, outside of child support payments, outside of all of these things that we're all up against, Do you know how many movies that I was supposed to book that got compromised because of my reputation? Because of things that I was accused of that I didn't do? You know how many fucking concerts I was supposed to do that went away? You know how many deals I was that close to closing that would have changed and created generational wealth for my children long after I'm gone? They all were on their way in and went away. Do y'all understand how that feels to know that you never did and never said and never did anything that you were being accused of? You know how that feels? And then to have people to say, oh man, we can't put you on our movie because of your reputation, because of the things you're accused of. But I thank God that even though I got a crying video all over the internet and I became a meme and people laughed and cracked jokes, you talk shit about us when we don't care about our relationships with our kids, because there are a lot of deadbeats out here. I'm not going to ever disown that. There are a lot of men and fathers that are beyond irresponsible when it comes to having any kind of presence in their children's lives. They can live 2 blocks away or 2 hours away. They have no presence whatsoever in their lives. But the question becomes, how much have you as a mother went above and beyond to stop that father from having a presence in that child's lives? What lies have you told that child? What have you said? What have you done? How many phone calls did you block from the child ever knowing ever came in for the birthday, for the holiday? How many visits did you compromise? See, that's the type of shit that gets discussed when you're in the courtroom. And while I'm sitting there, famous, millionaire, actor, public figure, all the above, the residual residue of you being accused of some shit that you didn't do is people in Hollywood are going to decide, oh man, we can't hire him because of what he's accused of. And even after you clear your name, there are some people that's going to Google you and you be like, damn, but I never did that. I cleared my name. The fact that the shit was posted, the fact that it's out there, they're going to make their decision of whether they want to hire you or not. So my survival is compromised. Therefore, my children's survival is compromised. So when I'm stuck at home and I'm unemployed, broke, and fucked up, I'm going to end up in jail. If I'm too busy running around the world trying to make the world go round, dropping all these movies, touring, doing what I got to do to put food on the table, I get my ass caved in for that too. You can't win when you can't win. Right? Got it. Why can't you win? Because you were born a man. Because you were a father. Double, triple, quadruple standards. It's fucked up. But it's reality. And only way to change things, you got to put light on it. You got to shed light on it. You got to really put it out there. Fearlessly. And again, I want to tell y'all with all due respect, at some point I'm going to make peace with Samantha. No different than me trying to still make peace with the mother of my first child. We're going to be all right at some point. I'm not doing this on behalf of me. I'm doing this on behalf of every father. Past, current, and father to be. Nothing will ever change unless you speak up and speak out and change it. They did this shit right here to the wrong one. I'll see y'all 8:30 a.m., baby. All the press and media and journalists, I see y'all there. Press, media, bloggers, you name it. I don't care if you got a blog with 3 followers or 3 million. I welcome all of y'all. You got to file some documents called a Rule 22. That way you could be in the courtroom with us so that you can see all of this go down in real time. Tuesday morning, I'll see you 8:30 a.m. on the stairs of the courthouse for that prayer. I will see you. I love you, and I want to thank you in advance. And if you can't make it, I'll be on my IG Live, and I have you as a father, wherever you are in the world, to join us, because we're all so much stronger together than we could ever be separated. For all of you fathers out there that make us look bad every day, from being uninvolved, having no presence in your children's lives, you'll go wait 5 hours in line for a pair of Jordans, but you won't show up to no play dates. You have no presence whatsoever in your child or children's lives. Y'all make us as fathers look bad. You do. But I forgive you. And everybody needs a tune-up. Everybody needs a tune-up. Everybody needs that iron sharpen iron moment. And if I get arrested on Tuesday, even better. Hey, I'll see y'all there on Tuesday. Atlanta, Georgia. 185 Central Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be there at 8:30 a.m. to pray with every black man and every race and nationality imaginable. We are stronger together. Every father, any race, any tax bracket. I see you there at 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 a.m. George Foreman, the fact that you still have a job on this bench is mind-blowing to me. Your conduct as a judge is beyond the scope of the law. You are abusive with your power. You have no place to sit on that bench and do anything pertaining to family law. Everything that you have done on that court, on that stand, to me and probably every other father, is illegal and beyond the scope of the law. And I'm going to use my camera, my stage, my voice, and my platform to shed light on you. I'll be there. I'm going to be on my IG Live as well. I'm bringing my own tripod, and I'm going to fill out a Rule 22 so that everybody can look at my case on IG Live as well. How about that? I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Love makes the world go round. I'm going to post this IG Live on my main page. Do me a favor. Tag the Shade Room, TMZ, Essence, every blog, media outlet, Atlanta Journal, you name it. I want you to tag all of the press and media journalists. I want you to tag.
All right, guys, we saw enough. I didn't want to cut his words off because you know what? Like him or not, let's be clear. He made some very, very valid points. He really did. So I don't want to give too much of my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know after hearing his own words, how do you feel? Let me share a little bit of this article right here. I totally get what he's saying. Let's just look at this here. Oh, wait, that's not the one I want to share. 1 second, guys. Let me just go back. An ice cream truck is by my house. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Okay. So here it is. Tyrese says he's inspired to fight for dads after being ordered to pay $650,000 in child support case. Now, listen, we don't have to like Tyrese. I didn't want to read this article first. I wanted to play his own words. Like I said, he made very valid points when he was speaking. And he said Tyrese isn't going to take his child support case lying down. The 44-year-old actor told TMZ that he is inspired after being ordered by a judge to pay around $650,000 to his ex-wife and her lawyers. It's not about me, he told the outlet. What just happened today happens every day in family court system. Fathers have no rights, period. So the bigger the ass whooping that I get in court, the more is going to shed light on what has been happening since the beginning of time. Tyrese added that he'll never not take care of his daughters, okay, whether I'm with the mom or not. He also said it's not okay to call us deadbeat dads when we're hustling, grinding, traveling, doing whatever it takes to put food on the table and take care of our families. I do agree with that, right? Tyrese was sure to call out the judge as well, saying his conduct shows an abuse of power, which he calls egregious, right? If what he's saying is happening, I do agree with that too. He told TMZ his legal troubles will become case law. I believe that there's going to be multiple laws in place in the city of Atlanta that will refer to Gibson and Gibson, and they'll be able to make reference to case law pertaining to what's going to happen. He added, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll spend whatever it takes to turn this all around, not just on behalf of my daughters, but on behalf of every father who cannot afford proper representation or have any type of voice. A judge ruled in Fulton Court on Tuesday that Tyrese had to pay $237 roughly to his ex-wife Samantha Lee Gibson, $399,000 to her attorneys, and $17,000 to a special master used in court. Tyrese was ordered last August to pay $10,000 per month to his ex, but refused because he thought that kind of money was excessive. So he's saying that, in that video, he's saying there was no judgment. This is saying there was a judgment last August to pay $10,000 a month. And what he's pissed about is that judgment was based on what he was paying his other baby mother, because she lives in California. And there's he's saying, why was he ordered to pay his current, his ex-wife that same $10,000 just because the first one was getting it, but the first one lives in a more expensive state than the other one. I do get his points. I got to ponder on this. Because I understand his points, right? And I really understand that, the parent that's home and the parent that has to really hustle, that doesn't mean that the parent that has to hustle doesn't care about the kids. And, for a reality show that I'm currently watching, Love and Marriage Huntsville, it's kind of like, a similar situation to Melanie and Martell. Martell wants to cry about the babysitters that Melanie gets because she's out there hustling to make her money. That doesn't mean that she cares less about the kids. So that's pretty much what Tyrese is saying. This thing is deep. It's a lot. I had to play his full words for you because I wanted y'all to get the impact of every word that he's saying. Sometimes when people don't like a person, everything that comes out their mouth, they're like, oh, whatever, that person is messed up, so forth and so on. They're just running their mouth or whatever the case may be. And it's like people get connected to this maybe right message, wrong messenger. But in this case, you know what? Just because you don't like him doesn't mean you shouldn't hear what he's saying and can understand the words that are coming out of his mouth and the fact that he has a lot. When I say a lot of valid points. Child support is always a hard subject to talk about. It's very contentious. I just wish that this works out, for the best for both of them because they're spending all of this money in court. Now, the $30 million that he said he lost, I get what he's saying. He's not physically because of fees that he paid in court, but he's saying because of all the deals that he, were people he lost as a result of the narrative that is put out there about him. It amounts to that $30 million and probably adding every court fees and all that. So listen, guys, chat with me in the comments. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. This was a lot. It's Tyrese's words. What are your thoughts? I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Talk to you later.